Dolphins got the Cardinals this week. I'm very excited for this game. First of all, I love watching the Cardinals in general, and I'm going to love it watching them even more when Tua's kicking their ass. Big bounce back week coming.
Don't do that.
Big bounce back.
Don't do that. Here.
Big bounce back week coming, Leroy.
What do you mean bounce back?
Bounce
second
back.
Start.
Everybody been hosing them down.
Here.
Everybody been saying it's the wrong decision. I'm looking at you, Orlovsky. I'm looking at you, Mike Vick.
Let me toot my own horn here. So the other night, I was on Zach Gelb. Right?
All right.
And they asked me about Tua.
Yeah.
To which I replied, somebody pull up the numbers for Tom Brady his first year. Somebody pull up the numbers for Ben Roethlisberger.
Right.
One was 17 and 11, 7 touchdowns, 7 picks, and one was 18 and 14.
Now, did you know these numbers offhand, or Zach Gelb is making his crew scrounge for these numbers as it's happening?
They scrounge as it's happening.
Okay. And
right?
So what did Zach Gelb say after the numbers?
I mean,
did they say,
he was like,
"Oh, you boxed me in," or was
no,
he being was he being hard on
Tua?
Tua?
No, he wasn't saying Tua should be better. He was just asking me about Tua, and I was just saying, "Hey, man, it was his first start with no preseason, and his only action was 2 passes at the end of a game."
I tell you what, I was watching him mic'd up. They released clips of him being mic'd up the other day. Kid's got it.
Oh my gosh, stop doing that.
Kid's got it. He does.
You know how hard it is to play quarterback in the NFL?
It's hard.
And you're just shrugging it off like, Tua could do it.
Nah, he's got it. He's just got to.
What is it? What is it?
It is tough to.
You know what? It's a way of calling somebody good without actually saying what his qualities are.
A little bit.
You know who they used to say that about?
Who?
Tim Tebow. He's a winner. He's got it. Unfortunately, he didn't have a pass. He couldn't throw the ball.
He did have a pass in the playoff game and won it.
There you go.
He did. He had it.
Okay.
I was at a Dolphins game live where he completed 2 passes and won.
Right.
Look,
I'm not saying Tua's not going to be any good, and people think that I'm hating on Tua. I am not. I'm just asking people, let's keep it real. Like, this is a process. He's not just going to come out throwing for 300, 400 yards. He's not going to do it unless his team's down 30, and then you could just air it out with no ramifications like Cincinnati's been doing.
Yep, but Cincinnati got a big win last week. Like it's starting to look like it's rounding into form for them.
Okay.
Now
they also have a good running back.
They do,
right? They also have good wide receivers.
Yeah, Dolphins. I understand what you're saying, but the Dolphins had the 5th leading receiver last year. Like Devontae Parker.
Last year, he wasn't playing with Tua last year.
Come on,
Cut it out.
All right, but he's got a good receiver. He's got a good weapon. I'd like to see him featured more. Let's go. You know
who's the featured receiver in a play? The one that's open.
Come on. You throw it up there. You let old DVP make a play.
Really? So that's where we are now.
Preston Williams said, by the way, on his drops, he says, quote, "I just got to try and be there when my number's called. Me dropping the balls isn't helping at all. I'm harder on myself than anyone can be hard on me. Being one of the receivers they can count on, I'm just trying to make every play."
Would you like to like me to translate that?
Yeah.
He says, blah, 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 blah. I'm going to take full responsibility. Maybe they'll leave me alone.
Yeah, they're not going to leave him alone if he keeps dropping the ball.
But that's what I'm saying.
Just don't do that thing where Mike Harley did after that one of the Canes ones where he's like, we just started doing Jugs machine.
Here, somebody pull up the numbers from Joe Burrow and Justin Herbert. Leroy, how about that? Don't give me a rookie seasons from guys in the 2000s. New league, new rules. No, that's not what I'm. Man, why? see, this is your fault.
Why is that my fault?
Because you go into things with these high expectations, and I'm not saying that Tua can't be that. Mm-hmm. I'm saying you got to temper your high expectations because this is only his second start, and he never had a preseason.
I mean, but here's the thing, though. Like, listen to these numbers of passing attempts that Joe Burrow has had. He's thrown the ball 37 times, 47 times, 39 times, 30, 36, 44, 61, 36. Like, he is there. Like, they're making it because they're losing basically every game. He's throwing a ton.
Right.
And look, he's go ahead. Oh, Putin?
To compare those two, right,
Mm-hmm.
is unfair to Tua because of the teams that they're on. He only threw the ball 22 times, which Joe Burrow has not done all year.
Nope. He has.
So to say, look at Joe Burrow's numbers, why can't Tua do that?
He sniffed that one time, 22. That was 30 times in a 27-3 loss to the Ravens.
Right. So it's not, all I'm saying is this. It's hard to compare what Tua is doing here after one start to what Joe Burrow and Justin Herbert have done all year, because they're being asked for whatever reason to throw the ball a lot more.
Mm-hmm.
Tua threw it 22 times. What are you going to – there's nothing you can say when a team has 48 offensive plays that says, I want Tua to be like those other two guys. Not with 48 plays and his first start. And they won. Let's not forget that.
Yep.
That's the best case scenario. You didn't have to overexpose your young quarterback. You got the win, and you got some film where you can work on it and he can improve. That's the best case scenario.
Justin Herbert, he has thrown it 33, 49, 25, 34, 43, 43 times.
So let me ask you this, and this is an honest question. Would you rather have Tua have those attempts, but you're 2-4 right now, or 2-5 right now?
Well, that's what, like, you look at these games, and Herbert has, look, he's got the Chargers curse. They've lost.
He's the new Falcons. That's West Coast Falcons.
Sorry, bro. Like, he's losing every game 1 point, 2 points, 3 points. That is the burden that is the Chargers.
Right.
And they beat the Jaguars, which is,
But again, I ask you the question. Would you rather Tua have those numbers, but the team be 2-5?
I mean, those games sound fun. I mean, they are having fun out there. He is 15-5.
Are you serious?
A lot of TDs.
Are you serious?
Because look, he is, what is he? He's 1-6, but those aren't all true losses, because when you come out of those games and he's throwing for 4 touchdowns, you're like, it doesn't feel like a loss. You lose an OT game to the Saints and he throws 4 touchdowns. You're like, that's pretty good. That felt good.
Right. Again, you didn't answer my question. You're telling me, as a Dolphins fan, instead of having 4-3 and Tua having his first game and only throwing the ball 22 times, you'd rather be 1-6 and have Tua have thrown as much as Justin Herbert?
Here's the thing that I think is different about it. Okay, I'll tell you why I don't want him to just be a numbers guy. And that is because he's in an unfair circumstance that Herbert and Burrow don't have to play in, and that is that for whatever reason, everybody has decided that Ryan Fitzpatrick is Tom Brady and should be treated as such. And so now Tua has to not only perform, but his team has to win, because for some reason everybody thinks the Dolphins have the 85 Bears defense. No, hear me out. Everybody nationally is saying that Brian Flores did his team a disservice by starting Tua. So he's better off going out and getting the wins, obviously, but he doesn't get to be in the box that Justin Herbert and Burrow is, which is, all right, if they go out and they have big numbers, great. If they don't, great. They don't really have any consequences. They're both on terrible teams.
But okay, and that's why it's that way, right?
But everybody fawns over them, dude.
But if your team is winning, and then you change a position, or change a quarterback, right? That's going to be viewed differently than the other two young guys starting on terrible teams.
Understood, but they get to have praise for putting up stats that are impressive, but in the end meaningless for their team's record.
Right, but that's why I just asked you a question. You still haven't answered.
But no, I'm telling you, I did answer it. I said that I'd rather have Tua get the wins because he's in the unfortunate circumstances of everybody is not only people aren't looking at him for the numbers now. Now he has the burden of he has to be the quarterback that takes him to the playoffs because everybody feels like Brian Flores made a loser move by going to the young guy.
No, and look, no. See, and I'm not there either.
Why?
But like, because you switch quarterbacks, that means now you got to go to the playoffs. It's quite possible that you're gonna go to the playoffs because of your defense, regardless of who's playing quarterback.
I agree.
So call it, but I'm saying call it what it is.
No,
that's what it is.
Because this is the thing. And we've talked about this with MJD. You guys were surprised that this is a week-to-week league. People earn their stuff, and that you make a move like that, you've never seen it in your years of football, right?
Right.
Okay. That's why I'm saying Tua, he doesn't get to go into this place of if he goes out and he airs it out 43 times, he takes some hits, he throws some picks. He can't really take those bumps and bruises because he's going to be looked upon as not only that he's not developing, but that he almost upset the apple cart. Like he went out there and they threw him in there to develop, and that made the team choose him over the priority of winning. Well, where you wouldn't look at Justin Herbert or Joe Burrow like that because their teams stink.
Well, but here's the other thing, right? When this happened, I tried to stay away from all that and tell you the football reasons as to why it was taking place, right?
Yes.
I mean, at some point, going through this process, you have to be aware of the circumstances. And I have no problem with what any of the national media is saying because they don't know.
But I do. See, that's the thing, though.
Okay, but you know the truth. So you don't have to throw all of this nonsense out there.
Sure you do. If I don't defend them, who will? If they're going to go out,
defending though.
I'm defending narrative. They're running around and they're making up stories. Narrative. I'm defending narrative.
Oh my goodness. So that's your new superhero name, the Defender of Narrative.
Yeah.
What? You and Aquaman ought to hang out.
I'm Narrative Man.
Bum ass superheroes.
Oh my God, it's Narrative Man. Like I'm gonna like Ryan Clark's gonna be like, this is actually a loser maneuver because the Dolphins are going to be a playoff team. It's like, but maybe they'll be better because Tua can throw the ball downfield. And then I run out of the studio.
Right. But I said that day one.
But they don't care. They're just like, they see, and this is the problem.
Why do we care?
Here's another thing.
Why do we care?
Because first of all, people care. Okay. I don't know if you noticed this. Do you see what's going on do you see what's going on with the election? People care about what they say. All right. People like how they're portrayed nationally to the media. All right. And so, with Tua and the media hosing them down because Ryan Fitzpatrick has a pity party at his press conference. Oh, I thought it was my team, and this was the team I bought into. It's like, dude, you've been here for 3 seconds. You're not Dan Marino. Calm down.
Hey, what? And that's another thing.
What?
You want to call yourself the defender of narrative, but listen to the narrative you putting out there with Fitz.
No, he's putting out the narrative.
No, he's not.
I'm sitting in the narrative cave. We're sitting in the lair, and you hear the narrative on, and narrative. I say pull up the screen, and it's Ryan Fitzpatrick booing. Oh, I thought it was my team, and I'm like, oh, another narrative I'm gonna have to deal with. That's what Narrative Man does.
I hate that superhero. Like that's stupid. So, look, we understand what the situation is, right? I'm fully aware of why, or I think I have an idea of why the change was made. Part of it because of the messed up schedule, okay? Partly because of that. Because this was supposed to maybe take place 3 or 4 weeks down the line. If you believe that he was going to start after the bye week. Okay, but that didn't happen. He also would have been playing against a different team. So they rolled the dice and put him in there with against the Rams. It worked out. He got an opportunity to play a little bit, not really be that much of an impact. And then they can go back. Like I said, he'll be able to figure out, hey, I have more time here. Hey, I could have just slid over and maybe looked downfield a little more.
He is a fan.
What do you like?
But you're not.
Just,
look,
here.
What you're not a fan of? Can I tell you what you're not a fan of? you're not a fan of the noise. And
Right.
my problem is I have rabbit ears. I
But
hear it all.
that's where you live.
Yeah, but that's
You
okay.
live in chaos.
Yes.
You love that. You love living in chaos. You are the guy on Twitter that'll just be scrolling down
But
and
that's
you read
okay.
a tweet and you have to comment.
See, I like to think of it as this. You and I, we're like a couple of superheroes. You're the eyes, I'm the ears.
No. As long as you're not the mouth, we're fine.
Texter writes in, Tua is starting early because Miami has the Texans' first-round pick. Could be top 5, Fields or Lawrence. See if Tua's the answer.
Are
No!
you kidding
No!
me?
You're falling for Adam
no.
Schefter
No.
narrative. That's what Narrative Man does.
Wait. No. Here's the thing. Right? I'm curious what fans think or how long do they think things should happen? Like, when should Tua be his best possible Tua? Right?
Well, I think that
because
Patrick
evidently everybody's pissed off that it didn't happen game 1.
Yeah, I think Patrick Mahomes ruined it for everybody.
He sat a year.
I
He
know.
don't count.
It's still year 1,
No,
awesome.
he
Year 2 Super
doesn't
Bowl.
count. He sat an entire year. If you want to say Justin Herbert and Joe Burrow, then guess what? How would you like to have their situations?
Well, their situations are gravy because everybody kisses their ass for losing.
No. But they're not winning. You would rather be 1-7 and say, "Oh, at least we got our quarterback."
It's not a matter of wanting one or the other. It's the fact that Tua has found himself that he's in a situation where he has to win because he came into a situation where people felt the quarterback he replaced was playing well.
The coaches won't let him think like that.
What do you mean?
Okay? Here's the whole point. You go out and improve every week. Right? Maybe they feel that they have the infrastructure around him to keep them in every game. Maybe they feel they have the defense or the weapons outside that they can create offense to give those playmakers an opportunity to make plays. So, like, you can't worry about what the numbers look like because they're also coaching around their talent. And so, like, for everybody gets so caught up in, oh, we can just get another quarterback next year. Dude, you can't, because then you're going to do the same thing with the next guy.
Yes.
Like, let's not forget how incensed everyone was because you might not get Tua. And you might have ended up with Justin Herbert. So now let's not all of a sudden point at Justin Herbert and think all these great things when before you didn't want him. You didn't want Justin Herbert. You wanted Tua.
I agree.
And a lot of times when you want the guy, you're usually a little more patient. And I can't believe how impatient everybody is with this young quarterback.
Because they're getting blinded by fantasy stuff. That's why.
Who?
We're in a day and age where, and especially in football, where people get blinded by the numbers and they get blinded by that. They don't care about that stuff. And Tua, he's been put into a situation that these other guys haven't been put into because this team actually has a chance to, I don't know if contends the word, but they can go. They're in a divisional race, and the other two aren't.
Right. Of course.
His
So
games matter.
That, again, from the beginning, that's why I said the timing was crazy, right? Even though I understand why they did it. Now, to me, the move was made looking at the big picture, not at we have a chance to win a division this year.
Yes.
Because what gives if you go 10-6 this year with Fitz and win a division?
And you get blown out in the first round. I agree.
And
No,
now
I'm
your
done with
quarterback
that.
of the future hasn't had any experience.
Yeah, I don't want that to be the case. And the idea that you're already looking to replace him, like, dude, first of all, to Leroy's point about Justin Herbert, okay, everybody wanted Tua. You didn't want Justin Herbert. But they are going to be tied together forever. Chris Greer is not going to go into a situation where if Justin Herbert does have a year where he throws, a bunch of touchdowns and does look like the real deal and they just need to tweak some things around him, you can't go into a year and say, I blew that one already. The quarterback actually I should have taken was a pick later. No, he can't do that.
Here's the thing that people fail to realize in sports. you can make the right decision and be wrong, right? Like the thinking. Let's go back to Drew Brees and
I don't know. Hold on one second. I feel like if you heard Pat Riley say that, you'd be going.
No. What I'm saying is,
make the right decision.
You can make the right decision and it not work out. Let me change that.
You mad-libbed it already, but I'll
No.
let you.
That's what I meant.
I'll let you work
You
it.
can make the right decision and it not work out. For example, if a player is the number 1 rated player in the draft, and you have the number 1 pick, and you take him, and he ends up being a bust, you made the right decision. It just didn't work out. And so, from the standpoint of, let's go back to Dante Culpepper and Drew Brees. If I just put 2 quarterbacks on the table, you get a choice between both of them. One has a bum leg and one has a bum arm. You take the guy with the bum leg. Simple as that, right? It didn't work out. But you made the right decision.
Well, you didn't make the right decision, though, because
No,
one's going to the
you're
Hall of
playing-
Fame.
Oh, my goodness. You're looking at the results.
Of course.
If I put 2, but what I'm saying, at the time, they made the right decision. It didn't work out.
I don't know, man. I think,
Here. Let's put it this way. 10 years from now, if Justin Herbert is having an unbelievable career and Tua's okay, right? He's still the quarterback, but he's not doing anything along the numbers that Herbert is doing. Does that mean you were wrong for not taking Herbert?
Yeah.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. Because when you were drafting, okay, everybody liked Tua. You found out he was healthy enough to take him, right? So you took him.
If you have a quarterback, look, I wanted Tua. I'm not going to sit here on the radio 3 years down the road if Justin Herbert's an All-Pro and Tua stinks and he's out of the league and he has grandma hips.
I didn't say he stunk.
Okay, but let's just say he stinks.
Okay.
I'm gonna.
Okay.
I'll
You're
admit.
gonna be rats off his ship.
I'm not gonna be rats off his ship.
Yes,
I'm gonna be
you
like, I wanted Tua, but it's not my job to want Tua.
Oh my goodness, you're past.
We're
We're setting up scenarios, and you're already passing the buck. You're
passing the buck.
Yes, you are.
I'm not Chris Greer. I'm not. It's not my job.
So wait a minute. Hold on. So if Chris Greer had decided to take Justin Herbert because of Tua's injury issues, what would you have said?
I probably would have been mad on draft night.
Oh, no. You'd still be calling him a bum.
No, I don't think so. Well,
No,
if Herbert was doing this, I don't know.
But he wouldn't have been doing. You know what? Here, I have no doubt in my mind. Okay, hear me out. I have no doubt in my mind that if any one of those 3 quarterbacks were played last week, the numbers would have been pretty much the same.
Really?
With 48 plays and 25 runs and only 22 passes, with the defense doing what they did, absolutely. And that's the point that needs to be made.
But do you think they're going to go as conservative this week? Like, it's not like what they had last week was a game that was an anomaly. They're not going to have that game again.
And so was Tua's game. That's my point.
Okay, so you think that they'll let him cut it loose a little bit more, or do you think they're still?
It's not a
matter
of cutting it loose.
Hold on, because he's going to a game where his backfield is going to be a guy who's been inactive for the last month and Laird. That's what he's got in the backfield.
Okay, listen. It's not a matter. Look, each game is played on its own merit, right? That means that what was required of Tua or any person playing quarterback last week was about what you got, right? He could have had a couple of more completions. Would that have been another 15 yards? Right? That's it. That was that game because you ran the ball more than you passed the ball. That was that game. So moving forward to this week, this game is going to be different than last week. There might be more that's required of him. There might be less. Who knows what's going to happen? But you played a game. Like, don't get on Tua about his game because of the way that game was played out. So, like, everybody's looking at the stats and going, this Tua. All right. And I'm like, wait a minute. Did you watch the game? Like, what was needed out of a quarterback last week?
Nothing.
Nothing.
What was needed was not 3 interceptions.
Right.
Don't ruin this.
Why can't we all take that in and understand, right? That's the way that game was. You only had 48 plays. You ran it 25 times, so you only had 22 passes. That's just the way that game played out. Would everybody have liked to see Tua do more? Yes. But I'm happier that more wasn't needed out of him because he got to get some experience against a defense like that. The team won. And now next week is a whole different scenario. This game could be a 40-45, shootout. You don't know. But if you feel that he is your quarterback, all you can do is let these circumstances and these situations play out. And when they start building, when all these different football situations start building, then you can have a better assessment of what your quarterback is. But if all 3 of them had played in the same scenario last week, it would have been 12, 13, 14, or 22 for about 100 yards. Any one of them.
Text writes in, Tobin, stop saying the name Laird. Am I saying it wrong, or does he just not want to hear the name?
I think he doesn't want to hear the name. I'm going to be honest with
From Adam Beasley's Twitter account, Leroy.
you. Yeah?
Brian Flores, he just had his press conference. Brian Flores, unsolicited, pushes back on ESPN report that Tua Tagovailoa has a 10-game audition. Quote, we brought Tua here because we believe in him, along with all the other picks. We believe in developing players, improving players on a daily basis. That would be the opposite of giving someone a 10-game audition.
I mean, yeah. Like, to think, like, man, I can't figure out for the life of me how everybody was so excited about having Tua, and after 12 passes and a win, they're saying, well, we can see what he has. If he don't have it, we can draft Trevor Lawrence. After 12 passes. Dude, there is nothing that you've done in your life where you could be evaluated that quick. Nothing. But yet, that's where we are already after a win?
That's what they were doing.
That's man, come on. And you wonder why.
You
wonder why I get so offended at fans.
This is why you need a superhero like me. All right? You need somebody like Narrative Man who will stomp this out.
Here's the problem. Here's the problem.
Flores and
Narrative Man sprinkles silly sauce on it and thinks that the problem's just going to evaporate.
Oh, it just did. Flores just killed it.
Well, that wasn't you.
Well, no, he knew. I bet he listened beforehand. You know Flores got us pumped up in the office. He's got the radio.com app fired up. He goes, you know what? Narrative Man is right. It's time to put an end to this. And then Beasley is about to ask a question. He goes, hold on, Adam. Hold on. I have something to say. And he finds Narrative Man within himself and shoots down Adam Schefter.
So this is a thing.
What?
Narrative Man.
Narrative Man. Texter writes in, Leroy, stop trying to make sense. You're in Tobin land. Buckle up.
Gosh, come on, man.
Dan, what else do we have today from the Modelo Especial Sports Desk?
Well, let's start with Fitzmagic wearing the short shorts and trimming his beard for practice.
Oh, my God. Enough of this guy.
They are short.
Of course they're short. Too short.
I don't know if he should be wearing short shorts.
No, I will say, look,
he ain't got the body for short shorts.
I disagree. I got to say, I was kind of impressed with his legs.
No.
I was.
He's like Uncle Rico, dude.
Nah, Fitz looks like he could throw up some lbs on the old leg press.
No.
You don't think so?
No.
I think he could.
No.
He's got some quads to him now. I can't hate there, but it is a very look at me move.
You think?
I know.
All right.
I hope somebody asked him. I hope somebody asked him.
And yet, Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
And any chance your superhero comes out and stops you?
Well, I don't understand.
The narrative you're putting out there on Fitz right now.
It's not. See, Narrative Man also puts out the correct narrative. That's one of his superpowers. And so when the narrative, see,
Hey,
here's
man,
the thing.
This guy has just worked his way. This is what he does. He manipulates the situation and works his way around everything.
Here's the thing. So here,
So
let me explain.
He can never be wrong.
Let me explain.
So anything he says, any take he has, he's never wrong.
Because here was the narrative that was thrown out there yesterday. Okay. Ooh, look at Fitz. He's so wacky. And then Fitz is like, he tells Jerome Baker, actually, I did this as an homage to Isaiah Ford. Pass it on. And so then Jerome Baker gives that to the media, and they're like, look at Fitz, still ultimate team guy. It's like, well, really what he's doing is he's trying to make up for that pity party that he had a week ago where he was super selfish. And that's the thing that Narrative Man smokes out. The narrative that Fitz is trying to put out there, when the true narrative is he's look at me guy. Look at me, I'm wacky. Look at me, I'm still the best teammate. All right, bro, we get you.
Hey,
All right, take a seat.
what are you doing? But like, I can't believe
Everybody falls for it too. Texas is like, it was for Ford, bro.
I cannot believe how quick you flipped on Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Flipped. I took an oath last year not to rip him. I needed to put my word as my bond to not have a year where we're crushing him because I want
ripped him last year.
You want? I would have ripped him. You want to know why?
Why?
He's Ryan Fitzpatrick. I don't give two rats' asses. Okay. What I wanted to.
Now that you have Tua.
Yeah, because that's what I wanted the entire time.
Okay, but then if that's the case, can we give him a minute to grow?
Who?
Tua.
I am giving him a minute to grow. That's what. See, you're not understanding what Narrative Man is trying to do. I'm trying to push back and correct. Because there's a lot of incorrect narratives out there.
You know, with great power comes great responsibility.
That's Spider-Man, bro.
Well, you play superhero music. Hey, this is, dude, I can't believe I'm falling for this.
Texter had said, you're right. Now that he's not QB, he's pulling antics. Exactly.
Antics. So maybe maybe you can team up with Antic Man and y'all could be like a superhero duo. Narrative Man and Antic Man.
I wouldn't want to be with Ryan Fitzpatrick. He tried to take the attention off of me.